Moving on to more local news. According to the police, it has been revealed that Sakwiti Ranasinghe, who is in custody for alleged financial fraud, had also sold land with fake deeds. The Criminal Investigation Department said that if individuals who had purchased land from the suspect are facing problems, they may file complaints with the CID.
The complaints in question can be lodged via the CID phone number 011-2422-176. The CID informs that those who received checks that bounced from the suspect and those who deposited money with the suspect and could not retrieve their money can also direct their complaints via this phone number or by calling over at the CID. Sakwiti Ranasinghe, who has been charged with a large-scale financial fraud, was arrested on the 6th of this month in the Navagamo area. Police protection has been deployed to the house down Hekitta Road in Vattala, where the suspect lived with his wife and 2 children. According to the owner of the house, Sakwiti Ranasinghe had lived in this house for 2 months and 5 days before his arrest. He was introduced to us by someone known. He is the one came looking for a room on rent. He said he is working at an iron workshop nearby. When we inquired from the iron workshop, they said that he is an Indian and that he is working with them. He and his wife first came to look at the house. We are astonished by the way they lived. They didn't even have enough food to eat. They didn't have a proper place to sleep. All of them slept on a cardboard for a long time. It was only after about 10 days that they got a mattress and 2 chairs. Information has come to light that Sakwiti Ranasinghe, who lived in this manner, had carried several frauds while appearing under various names. He had appeared as an English tuition teacher in the Chilao town under the name Sapumal Bandara. This individual had fled the area after obtaining money from students, promising that they would be taught English. We attended the seminar on the first day and we were told that if we liked it, we can continue to attend it. So we were asked to pay 3,500 rupees, and if we are paying in 2 installments, we were asked to pay 4,000 rupees. Though he promised to do classes for 3 months, he only carried out about 5 classes. When we went the next day, the class was closed and there was a board hanging which stated that classes were cancelled. It was only then that we found out that he had run away. Sakwiti Ranasinghe and his wife are in remand custody at present, while their 2 children are currently in probationary care. The mother of Abe Ranasinghe Mudiyanselage, Chandana Veerakumara, alias Sakwiti Ranasinghe, had this to say about her son. One day he asked me to sit and asked me whether I would like to see a change. Then I told him, "Son, it has been 27 years since I came here and I don't want to leave." He comes to see me and leaves some money with me. The only thing I ask from God is that let him be free of his debts one day. It is okay that he was caught. He may have suffered something worse. He could have been killed. Sakwiti Ranasinghe, who chose the wrong path to success, was not able to go far along the path he chose. My son is now in custody. Legal action is being taken against him. But please let me see my son. I am mentally down. Please be sympathetic and let me see my child.
Well, Sakwiti Ranasinghe's mother was allowed to see her son, who is in the custody of the CID. When contacted, a high-ranking official at the CID said she was allowed to visit Sakwiti Ranasinghe this afternoon. Now, Minister of Irrigation, Water Resources Management Nimal Sipal de Silva says that the government will implement a proper mechanism to control floods in the Kadathara area. The minister expressed this view while engaging in an inspection tour of the Uyanwata Lake in Bandaragama.
Controlling floodwater is a very complex program. Several local and foreign specialists have conducted studies in this regard. We will start a dialogue to select the most suitable mechanism to control floodwater in the area by analysing these reports. We will also draft proposals to find ways in controlling the floodwater as well.
The Janata Vimukti Peramuna staged a protest today in Colombo, charging that the police attacked a group of persons who engaged in a protest in Gaul recently.
The protest was staged opposite the Fort railway station in Colombo. A group of persons, including General Secretary of the JVP, Tilvin Silva, was present at the protest. The protesters demand that the members for those arrested to be released. When the United Nations compound was surrounded and staff were taken hostage, and when the protesters jeered at the senior police officers who arrived at the location by removing their hats, there was no issue. It was called democracy. The government then said that democracy needs to be maintained. When a government minister arrived and jeered at the police officer, he remained silent. We would like to ask the government where democracy is and in which direction the government is forging ahead if the government can attack and imprison parliamentarians and political leaders.
The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation has reported that an estimated 490 Tamil migrants who have arrived on a ship seeking refuge shelter in Canada will be investigated to determine whether there are human smugglers or terrorists among them. Now, speaking to reporters in Eskimo, British Columbia, Canadian Minister of Public Safety Wick Toes said that although Canada had been very welcoming of refugees, the Canadian government will not let its refugee system be hijacked by criminals or terrorists.
MV Sansi, the 59-metre Thai-owned cargo ship which left Thailand in May, arrived yesterday at the CFB Eskimo after spending almost 90 days at sea.
As I have previously stated, human smuggling is a despicable crime, and any attempted abuses of our nation's generosity for financial gain are utterly unacceptable. Our government is committed to protecting the safety and the security of Canadians, and human smuggling and activities which endanger human life are offences under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act.
The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation reported that many on board are believed to have paid as much as $50,000 each for the trip. According to Toes, those on board the MV Sansi will be fingerprinted, photographed and screened for criminality. The examination is expected to take up to 72 hours due to the difficulties in confirming identities.
It will take considerable time to do this investigation, but we are sure that we will be doing security checks and criminal record checks as part of our follow-up.
Officials from the Canada Border Services Agency will take the time necessary to identify and process individuals on board the Sunsea in accordance with Canadian law. Any individuals who endanger national security or who have engaged in the criminal enterprise of human smuggling will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Passengers on board the vessel must be processed under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. The government will not take any steps to prejudice the investigation or the identification of individuals who may be criminals or a threat to national security.
Officials also stated that they had waited for the MV Sansi to enter Canadian waters, since letting the vessel enter Canadian waters was the best way to deal with migrant ships of the given nature. The ship carrying the immigrants arrived at the base on Vancouver Island yesterday, escorted by 2 naval tugboats. Officials have also stated that there was no large medical need for those on board. The migrants are expected to be transported for Eskimo to various destinations, including Victoria General Hospital and the Wilkinson Road Jail in Victoria. As a signatory to the UN Convention on Refugees, Canada is obliged to process all refugee claimants who reach Canadian soil.
US President Barack Obama backs the controversial New York mosque project. Details on News First International Desk. That's coming up right after this short commercial break. Stay with us.
I believe that Muslims have the right to practice their religion as everyone else in this country.
You're with Primetime Weekend. Certificates were awarded to a group of former LTT cadres who have been rehabilitated and who have successfully completed a workshop on coconut-related products. The event was held in the Valikanda area yesterday. The function was held at the Senapura Rehabilitation Centre in Valikanda to distribute certificates to 100 former LTT cadres who have been rehabilitated. At the workshop, these individuals were trained to manufacture coconut-related products, which was jointly organised by the Coconut Cultivation Board and the Office of the Commissioner General on Rehabilitation.